As strong as the ground is, it cannot stop the roots of a tree from breaking through. As big and beautiful and powerful as the ocean is, it could never stop a little wave. And as beautiful and powerful as us human beings are, we cannot stop what's coming. Hi you guys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, and all beautiful souls of planet Earth. I'm Sean Hills and this is A Soul's Experience, a channel dedicated to helping the human race remember who we really are. There seems to be so much tension on the planet right now, and for good reason. If you look at the news and what's going on, it's very, very easy to believe we're in some sort of apocalyptic end times, or just by the push of a button it could all be over. And although that there are many crazy enough people on this planet to push that destructive button just for the sake of pride and control and manipulation and just, you know, who's got the bigger that kind of old, my house is bigger than your house, my car's faster than your car, my gold's got more carrots in it than your gold kind of mentality. There are many people out there that, you know, that unfortunately are in power. Egotistical, in power, and it's creating two types of camps, especially in the spiritual community, I find. And I find there is a direct correlation to your time of awakening, how many years you've been I don't want to say practicing spirituality, but opening up your mind a bit more to the possibilities of eternal life, interdimensional beings, us not being alone in the universe, reincarnation, the multiverse, you know, the matrix that we live in, the simulation theory, all the kind of beautiful theories that are out there, which all kind of point towards consciousness living beyond the body, which is the important part. How many months, years you've been in that process, you will end up in two different camps. Because I was in the first camp for around 4 or 5 years. It was a long old time, and I think the first camp isn't the same for everyone at all. And that first part of the camp involves the dark night of the soul. It involves shadow work. It involves a lot of the nitty gritty, and it involves still a lot of control. We're trying to kind of kill off a piece of that ego. We're trying to allow the soul to come through, and it's kind of very much a pull and pull, a battle. And that is the first camp. So when we see these injustifications in the world, we automatically, from being so asleep and actually being a part of the problem, there's not really a problem, it's designed that way, but being a part of the negative energy, you know, there has to be a negative and a positive for things to work, a push and a pull. It's just the way this universe works. So we automatically try to reach and fix, and we try to heal and help, and there's nothing wrong with that. We go from being an asleep being to being awake, and all of a sudden when you wake up, it's impossible to not have that on your mind 24/7, that the world you thought you'd been living in is now not the world that you're living in. Everything changes from what you were taught at school, you now know to be lies. What the doctors are doing for their medicine, you know not to be the right way. That there's better ways that they won't even entertain because they're making too much money. You know, it all leads back to money and corruption and control. So you're trying to reach out. I tried to reach out to my old priests and tell them, you know, Jesus is real. I was in meditation and I saw the golden cross I saw the blinding white light. Oh my God, I was sending emails to my old priest. Jesus is real, but not in the religious way that you think. I'm trying to preach to my old priests. Religion's about control still. It's about, you know, spirituality and religion isn't the same. Jesus didn't want this for us. I'm trying to tell the whole world. I was getting hold of my old enemies. I love you. Thank you. I'm sending messages to people I hadn't spoken to for 20 years. We had a fight 20 years ago. I love you, man. I'm so sorry, but thank you for being a part of my journey. I had a full-on spiritual meltdown, screaming at the top of the hilltops that death is not the end. And that camp is beautiful, but then you're faced with, what have we done to the planet? Oh my God, the guilt. You start feeling this guilt, this shame. Oh my God, the way I've acted, and Jesus Christ is real and God is real. And I've acted in this way. Oh my God. Oh my God. All the times oh man, you don't even want to think about all the crap you got up to when you're asleep. All the crap, all the negative thoughts, the violence, drinking, the drugs. I'm not saying that was your journey, but my journey was wrapped in addiction and homelessness and prison and violence and promiscuousism, cheating, not being faithful in relationships, thinking I was the Jack the bloody lad down the town. Do you know what I mean? Just being a complete idiot. And all the time I fought behind closed doors. Where I could be Larry, and I could be that character, and I could tell people to F off and whatever and be a knobhead. There was always someone watching. Not judging, but now I'm judging myself. Oh my God. My mum who passed when I was 14, she saw all that. My guardian angels, my spirit guides, my relatives, my nan, my granddad. Nothing's hidden from the spirit world, do you know what I'm saying? They saw me at my lowest of times where I was acting so out of pain, because the fear of death is real. The fear of death is real. And that first camp that you're in, you face all of that. But you do get a release that, okay, death is not the end, but now you have another thing now I've got to go and face the Omega and the Alpha, the eternal, the everything that is, the divine, this all loving being. And you start to in your cells of your body start to remember that of course the universe loves you and isn't going to give up on you. But that's when we can start to feel like, well, am I worthy? Am I worthy of that love, of that forgiveness? Once you realise you're not going to be judged on the other side, that there was always a whole universe with open arms wanting you to do better, and it was us that was destroying our lives. It is a heavy, I feel it on my chest. We have to take that responsibility in the first camp. That's the shadow work. Whoa, let me look at them dark parts of myself. Let me take responsibility for what I've done. Because there is no hiding it now. There is a whole universe out there watching what's going on planet Earth, and there is no hiding it. There are interdimensional beings that could have been possibly right there watching, thinking, blimey, that's not good for his soul. But then, not good for the soul. That's very, very interesting, because that actually leads me on to the second camp. In the second camp, we realise our soul is perfect. It is made in the image of God. That's where that comes from. That beautiful, divine, blinding light that I saw in meditation once. So bright that it was merely a second before it made me wake from my meditation in shock and awe, gasping for breath from what I had just seen. And we, in that image, that beautiful, blinding, divine, perfect, loving, all joyful piece of divinity is inside of all of us. When we add up the cells or the atoms in the body, and each one produces 1.5 watts of electricity or 1.3 watts, and you add it all up and you realize the human body is producing trillions of watts of electricity all of the time. Trillions of watts of electricity all of the time. Trillions and trillions. Then we start to see how we can house such a powerful, beautiful, energetic light being. How we can be a fractal of such a beautiful, energetic light being like God. Because of religion, we had an image of an old man with a big beard on a huge throne. And if you were worthy enough, you could kiss his toe. If you were worthy enough. And even that was only saved for the most glorious of people that never fornicated in their lives. They never had a little rumble in the jungle on the back seat of the old Ford Fiesta. It was only saved for the people that never went to a party. They never had any fun. You were boring. You were miserable. I don't know what you were doing. But I know you was always in fear. You were always in that fear. But in the second camp, we realised that God is not that character. God sounds cliche, but every single thing you can see, you can feel, you can hear, you can touch, down to the material, because everything is a form of consciousness. That consciousness that runs through the whole entire universe, that's God. So God right now is not only through vibration, through awareness, through concentration and play and joyfulness, and most of all love. God is not only designing, stabilizing, creating and holding all of the universes, potentially multiple universes, all together at the same time. God is also receiving every single thought, every single feeling, every single action that was and was not taken, from a 360 point of view of everything and everyone, down to the ground you were walking on, from the blade of grass that you just stepped on, down to the chair that you were sitting in, which was a wave until you looked at it, proving that the chair is conscious, that every single particle God is in control of and receiving information back from, and with that information relaying back the future that we walk into. Wow. Just wow. As human beings, we want to try and understand everything, but there are some things that are just so far beyond human comprehension that it's best just to take it in very, very small baby steps. That's what I believe. I genuinely believe we will get there as a human race. We will start to find out the answers with the help of other species, potentially, definitely, in the end. But it's going to be baby steps. And I think if we was to know everything all at once, this reality would literally collapse. This reality has been designed in a specific way for a specific reason. I don't believe stagnation plays a massive part in this universe. We see what happens to water when it remains stagnant. It becomes rotten, it becomes mouldy, and it starts to grow life. Life will find a way, that's sure. It will create its own ecosystem, but it may not be the ecosystem sustainable for all life around it. So we have periods of stagnation, potentially for very, very important reasons. And they can feel so stagnant because these periods can go on for hundreds of thousands of years. Now, thankfully, we're in the time of great change. And when you're in the second camp, all of the stuff that we was trying to control in the first camp, we realize that actually it was a cycle. We was in that cycle of leaving source, going into de-evolution of sense, which is really a form of evolution from the amount of lessons that can be learned. But once you hit that peak of the lowest form, when you've been down there and doing what humans have been getting up to for hundreds of thousands of years, that there's only one way. You know that song? The only way is up, baby. You and me now. Let's get some bass on that. Only way is up, baby. Woo, for you and me now. Because it's true, the only way is up. When you look at the figure of 8, it starts in the middle and it loops out, and that's what the human race has done. We shot so far out into the edges of the universe where the vibration is so low, it created this 3D physical world, one of the lowest vibrational worlds that we know of, that we've discovered, that we even know of in the spiritual communities. We don't know of other worlds that are lower in density than Earth. Yes, other worlds have been spoken about that are just as low as density as Earth, so they could be prehistoric still learning. They could still have 200,000 years to go till they catch up to where we are now. And we'd be looking at them going, whoa, there's still cavemen on that planet. Yeah, they exist. But the actual behaviour was pretty low in vibration. And we were there for a long time. But it is a cycle, and you realise this in the second camp. Or every time we tried to control something, tried to control it, it was in vain. It was a futile attempt at believing that we really did have free will. Now, we have free will to react in certain ways to certain conditions, and that's part of the awakening as well. We realise that no matter what happens outside of us, it's actually what's happening inside of us that really counts. Because we have to just let the cycle continue. Like I said at the beginning, why would the ground, the almighty ground that cannot stop the roots of a tree, so humble and small and fragile at the beginning? Have you ever seen the roots of a plant, of a tree? So fragile. Yet the mighty earth cannot stop it because it does not want to stop it. It is allowing. It is an allowment of that root. And then you start to see, once that gets big enough, then roots are going where they want. You start to see pavements getting pushed up. And like with the ocean, the mighty powerful ocean, it cannot stop a small wave. They're coming because of the force of the moon. But nor does it want to stop the wave. It is allowing the waves to happen. It is allowing the churn, the movement, so that the bedrock can move, so that this planet can change, so that the ocean itself, which is living, which is conscious, because this whole planet Gaia is conscious, can have that movement, have that flow. Because like we said earlier, stagnation is no good for no one. Yes, it is needed at that specific time. So when we're in that second camp, we can really start to let go of that trying to fix this, trying to fix that. We can sit back and say, do you know what? I don't like that. But there is a reason that that is happening. And there is a force far greater than me in this physical form right now that is in control of all of this. And it is my job to just focus on where I am now and allow my life to unfold. That is all we have to do. There was a near-death experience I heard once, and it just never ever left my mind. It was one sentence that this woman heard. She was on the other side, and she was in the same position, trying to control everything, trying to, get control of her life, and it was spiraling, working, family, job, this, that. And while she was on the other side, died from, I think it was a heart attack due to stress, she heard, breathe and don't resist. That is your only job to do down here on earth as a human being, is to breathe and not resist. When I first heard that, I was still at the end of struggling with my addiction with alcohol. I'm over 2 years sober now. Thank God I'm over 2 years sober. But that was a 24-year addiction. I started at 13 and I gave up at 36. So that was like a 24-year addiction. And I had been in rehab about 3 times. It led me to homelessness, prison. Addiction will lead you to the worst of places until it leads you to the grave. I lost many friends, lost to addiction, lost my mum to addiction. So addiction really was that theme in my life that my soul had chosen to come here and try to overcome. And through the 24 years, the multiple times of quitting for 6 months here, quitting for a year there, maybe another 3 months here, maybe another 4 months here, and then going back on it for 2, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, until I tried again for another time. All of them times that I tried to stop, I was meant to do that. I was meant to try. But what I didn't realise is that would be a point that I wouldn't have to try anymore, that it would happen naturally. So the life that I lived was supposed to be the way it was, for many reasons, many lessons learned in that 24-year period for me and the people I affected around me. Many vital life experiences that just added a lot of flavour to my history here. You know, we can read our book back and every page could be the same thing. Done this today, done that today. Done this today, done that today. Done this today, done that today. And it would be a bloody boring book, wouldn't it? Or your book can be full of adventure and diversity and love stories and heartbreak and tragedy. Or it can all be in the same book. That's your life. And while we're in it, we think, oh my God, this is terrible. Why me? Why is all this stuff happening to me? It's not until we finally get to a point in life where things feel right, things fall into place. And that's divine timing. And then all of a sudden, giving up that thing you need to give up, or you wanted to give up, or starting that thing you always wanted to start, it just clicks, it falls into place. And a couple years down the line, you wonder, how the blooming hell was that so hard in the first place? So if you're having a hard time right now, I'm not telling you to just give up on giving up. I'm telling you, no matter what situation you're in, you are perfectly where you're supposed to be right now. If you're having a hard time, that's one of the most annoying, hardest things to hear. On my bad days, I don't want to watch a spiritual video. You know, I don't want to watch someone talking about love and light when I feel like pulling my hair out, when I'm stressed, when I'm tired, when I'm sick. Thankfully, it doesn't happen a lot. But on them, we're all human. We all go up, we all go down. We go up, we go down again. It's what we do. It's what we do as human beings, emotional human beings. And then as life moves on and life slowly gets better, the up times are slightly longer and the down times are slightly less. You know, until we peak out. But we're never going to be without adversity here on this planet. It's why we came here. And so if you're in camp 2, there's a massive weight that gets lifted off your shoulder, because you do realise that there is this great, grand creator, so far greater than what we have been told. Ain't some old man sat on a chair pointing at you, sending you to heaven and you to hell. It's this great, loving, beautiful, gorgeous experience of unconditional love and joy and happiness and sense of humour. You know, laughing, that feeling of just everything's going to be okay. You know, that is, to me, when I think of God, when I think of divinity, it's that feeling you get when you look at your child and your heart melts. You know, it's the feeling when you look at your dogs and they put that big smile on your face, or your baby does something silly or says its first word, walks its first steps. You know? That feeling we used to get as a child when your mum walked through the door, picked you up from school, or your dad, or your auntie, or whoever you had there. Your best friend when they came round to see you on the weekend and you didn't expect it. That time you got invited to the birthday party and you were welcomed in. Everyone wanted to say hello to you and you felt welcome. You felt part of something. It's that feeling right there that is universal, that runs through what some people would call a dark and harsh planet. It has an underlining feeling of love. That is its theme here. The theme of planet Earth is love. That is no matter where you go. And I bet my bottom dollar, no matter where you go in the universe, that theme continues. And it's a real shame that mainstream media and the government and all the people that try to control our reality want to push the exact opposite narrative. They just want to make us believe that human beings are broken and we're bad for the planet. They want to make us believe that we're bad for each other. All men are predators. All women are cheaters and unfaithful. And we don't want to bring a child into this broken planet. They push this narrative so hard now that it has become obvious that there is an opposite to what they are. It has become obvious that they are trying to hide something glorious under this cloak of darkness. The propaganda that is pushed on the people now is ridiculous. They want us fighting. They want us at each other's throats. They want us hating each other because they know what's coming. The Great Awakening. And they're scared. They are scared. They cannot stop it. They cannot stop it. It has already been written in the stars that the human race are returning to who we really are. And that's what this channel is all about. Just supporting every single human being. No matter who you are, your race, your sexuality. I don't care about any of that, because you're a beautiful eternal soul. Yeah, you're a beautiful eternal soul. That's all I need to know. And you've volunteered to come down here at this great time for humanity. So thank you, thank you, thank you from the bottom of my heart, because it ain't easy. It is tough, but it is beautiful. And if there's one thing we like on earth, it's a little bit of beauty. So thank you for listening, guys. If you're a returning viewer, thank you, thank you, thank you. We have such an amazing community here. A beautiful bunch of soul experiences are out there enjoying their own soul experience. So thank you guys for returning. I love you all. If you're new to the channel and you want to become a soul experiencer, all you have to do is hit that subscribe button. You can like the video if you want to. You don't have to, but hit that subscribe button, because there might be a video that you want to like in the future. And you don't want to miss out on that, do ya? Do ya? Do. So I'm really, blimey, I'm really musical at the minute. I just started my music channel. All kinds of funky things going on over there. You know what I mean? We can't get away from our passions and play in life. And so go out there, enjoy your passions, play, enjoy your families, enjoy yourselves, enjoy the sun. We got some sun coming out. I cannot believe it. There is sun in the UK in January. Beautiful. So until next time, guys, I love you all. Take care of those around you. Love those around you. Give them the love that they all deserve, because then you can receive the love that you deserve. But don't forget to love yourself and give yourself that TLC that you deserve, because if we can't love ourselves, then we can't give those around us the love that they deserve. It's a two-way thing. It's harmonious. Harmonious up in here. Yeah? Give out the love, receive the love. Give the love, receive the love. Love, love, love. It's all about the love, baby.